In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. Assalamu alaikum, dear students, and welcome to lecture number 24. In today's lecture, we will continue the reading section 3.2, Lincoln Gauge, A Man Should Never Leave His Post. As you all know, that this reading section falls under Unit 3, Duty and Responsibility. In the previous lecture, we started reading the story. The story started with a person traveling in a very snowy weather, and he was moving towards his other station. On the way, he came across the newly building railway station, and then the title of the story, Lincoln Gauge. He was entering that gorge, and then inside the gorge he finds a cave, and inside the cave he finds a boy. So there we stopped, and he was describing the situation, that how the weather is very harsh, how everything is so different, and also he somehow portrayed the gorge to us, that even in the sunny weather, in a clear weather, you cannot see anything inside the gorge, but now like the machinery, the generators, the light bulbs that were inside it, so somehow he somehow managed to move inside, and on the way he came across a ravine where he was about to slip. Then he somehow managed to move on, and then he was really irritated and very tensed. He was trying to stop there for some time, so that he can rest and continue his journey. So when he was thinking about his resting point, he saw a cave which was having a curtain as its door, and he was very happy to find it, and he thought that maybe inside it the workers, they are staying there. And when he entered inside, he saw a boy. Now we will read it further from page number 95. Okay, his cheeks were red with cold. He had been peering at the opposite cliffside through a rent in the curtain. He glanced at me briefly as I came in, then went back to his observation. Okay, so when he entered inside the cave, the writer, he finds out that a boy is sitting there, and he is looking at something. He is clearly observing something. He is taking care of something. So when the person enters the cave, the boy is looking at the person, and then he further continues his own work. The cave was large but quite warm. It had stove and eating utensils. On the wall above a bed was a colored New Year picture of chubby children pulling the turnip. Okay, now he is portraying us inside the inside the cave, that how it looks inside the cave. So the cave is quite large in size, but it is warm, because obviously the boy is sitting there, so maybe his parents are also there, so they have somehow arranged a fire, and it has stove, right, thing where we are going to cook things. Okay, then eating utensils, like the normal crockery that is inside there. Okay, and when he is going to look above, a bed is there that is colored with a New York picture of chubby children pulling the turnip. So it's a picture that is portrayed on the bed. All the walls had been papered with old newspapers, now blackened by smoke from the stove. So he is portraying that the walls, they have covered with newspaper, but because it is having a stove inside, and due to the smoke of that stove, all the papers have turned into black color. "Why isn't anybody home?" I asked, shaking the snow from my coat and hat. Now the writer is asking the boy that, "Why are you alone here? Where are your parents?" Why are you sitting here alone? And at the same time he is throwing the snow that is on his coat and hat. He is throwing them from his coat and hat. The little boy turned his head. His eyes flashed. Aren't I anybody, uncle? Now the boy is asking the man. He is now looking at the man, and with his eyes, bright eyes, he is asking that, aren't I anybody, uncle? Which means, don't you see that I am sitting here? Don't you think that I am anybody? He rose and walked towards me, his hands behind his back, his chest extended, as if to say, not only am I somebody, I am a very grown up somebody. Now, the portrait of the boy, you can just imagine that how the elder person at our home, they used to walk. They used to put their hands behind their back, and they used to rise their chest. Like extended chest means that he is bringing his chest to the front position with an extension, and he is trying to portray himself as a grown up boy, as a grown up you can say responsible boy. He is trying to portray his image as that, why are you saying that anybody? Like I am here, I am the responsible person, I am the grown up person, why can't you consider me as anybody? So the person is saying that he moved in a manner that he is trying to portray that I am the responsible, I am the adult, I am the owner of this house. I cupped his round little face in my hand. You're pretty sharp, young imp. Now he is saying that I took his face or his his front area of face in my hands, and I said to him that you are a pretty sharp young imp. Now he is trying to say that he is trying to now encourage the boy that though you are a small boy, but you have acted as a like an elder one. So imp means a small demon or devil or mischievous child. So he is simply saying that you are a small boy, but you have acted as an you can say that as a responsible grown-up adult. He pushed my hands aside. Doubling up his fist, he cocked his head to one side and demanded, "Who are you calling imp? I have a name." Pointing at the baby girl asleep on the bed, he informed me, "Her name is Pao Cheng. Mine is Cheng Yu." Now the boy is angry because the man said him as imp. As I told you, imp is for a small demon type, or you can say that a naughty type, you can say child, we can say as imp. So he is now angry, he is making his like doubling his fist, and he is saying that in an anger that, "Why are you calling me as imp? I am not an imp, I have a name." And then towards the bed, when he is referring, he is pointing towards the bed, there is a baby girl sleeping, and he is saying that her name is Pao Cheng and my name is Cheng Yu. So why are you calling me as an imp? No doubt about it. These kids were like thousands of others I met, born and raised on construction sites. Now the person is involving his personal experience. As we have read that Tu Peng Chen, he is he portrayed the military life, the civil war life in his writing. So he is now portraying that how is the life of the people who are in construction site, and how is the life of their kids. The workers like to name their children after the project where they were born. Now he is referring, this Pao is referring to the railway name. The railway name is Pao Ki Tu Cheng. Now Pao is the name of the girl, and Cheng is the name of the boy. So this is a mixture of the railway station name or the railway track name that the constructor, the engineer, the person has named like his children. So he's saying that I have came across many construction sites, I have experienced these areas, and I have experienced the workers and the names of their children, that they used to name their children after the project. Cheng Yu probably had first seen the light of the day on the railway project between Chengdu and Chongqing, also known as Yu. So he is saying that he is not only the first person to see this thing, he might have experienced it, but yes, this child is born. The workers. So Cheng Yu probably had seen the light of the day on the railway project between Chengdu and Chongqing, also known as Yu. So he is saying that this boy, he was born when the project started between these two areas, which is also known as Yu. His baby girl, Pao Cheng, very likely had been born right here at the site of the future Pao Ki Chengdu railway. Now, we have already discussed it that Pao Ki Chengdu railway was a railway that was being constructed at that time in 1958. So he is trying to now give us that why they are having such names. I sit by the stove, smoking and rubbing the drying mud from my hands. Cheng Yu crawled onto my lap and looked into my eyes. Is it going to snow tomorrow, uncle? Now, how cute and innocent question is that? The person is drying himself because he came from the outside. He is having mud. He is having snow. That is why he is now trying to dry himself, and he is removing the mud that is in his hand. So Cheng Yu is now asking him that, is it going to snow tomorrow, uncle? So he is asking about the weather, that whether it's the weather is clear or is it still the same situation. I pressed his icy red little nose. As soon as we get our telephone line connected up with heaven, I'll ask for you. Now he is trying to be nice to the boy, because now the writer has understood, the person has understood that this boy is somehow worried as he is asking about the weather. So it might be a very like a serious problem for the boy. So he is trying to make the boy as normal. He is trying to relax him, and he's saying that when I'll connect my telephone up to the heaven, means when I'll be connected with God, I'll ask him that whether it's going to snow tomorrow or not. Angrily, he leaped down and stood a meter away, squalling at me. Quite, you're kidding. You have got a newspaper in your pocket. Why don't you look at the weather report? Now, the boy is quite intelligent and sharp. He is angry that why are you making fun of my question? Why are you trying to be so relaxed, and why you sound so to be a friendly one? I am asking a simple question about the weather. Why don't you tell me about the weather? And he's saying that you are having a newspaper in your pocket, so why don't you look at the report, a news report, that how is the weather going to be tomorrow? He resumed his seat in the doorway, clamped his elbows on his knees, rested his face in his hands, and peered out through the rent in the curtain. When I asked him where the kettle was, he ignored me. I certainly was sorry I had offended my small host. Now he moved back to his position. He sat at the same position. He was holding his cheeks, his face, and then he was thinking about something. Then the stranger, the person, he asked him that where is the kettle? Maybe he wants some tea or like warm water. So he ignored him. So the person came to know that I have offended, that I have made my host angry. He is upset with me now, so he is not going to answer me. Why do you want to know about the snow, Chengyu? Now the person is asking him that what is the reason that you are so concerned about the weather? I asked him, is it because you can't go out and play when it's snowing? So he is asking that. Why are you so worried about the weather? Are you worried about your playing that if it will snow tomorrow, then I cannot go out and I cannot play with my friends? So he is asking him. He didn't even bother to look at me. Now the boy is not looking at the person. Papa says, if it's still snowing tomorrow, we will have to quit work. Now he is referring to his father that if it will continue snowing, we have to stop our work. That's all for today. We will continue this reading in the next lecture. Thank you so much.